Hey everybody, Sam Bowen here with another In Defense of Bad Movies Minisode. This is, of course, In Defense of Bad Movies, the show where we watch a movie that is generally considered bad, and at least one of us defends it. We have taken a little bit of a hiatus from that, as we instead watch Chinese versions of films that we have done on the podcast. Last time we did My Best Friend's Wedding, we did the Chinese version of that. And this next time around, we are doing the Chinese version of Only You, the Robert Downey Jr., Marissa Tomei, aka Iron Man Aunt May team up. So that should be interesting. I don't know. I can only assume that the two stars of the Chinese version are also the Chinese counterparts to people in the Marvel Chinese universe. I don't know for sure, but I'm just going to assume that is the case. So, and once again, our good friend Laura King will be back for that. So that should be very fun and exciting. We have been trying to get this done for a while, so hopefully it'll happen soon. We'll find out. But until then, we do have some exciting content for you, as we do in all of our minisodes these days. We have an episode of Themes Like Old Times. So, without further ado, I'm going to let the two hosts of Themes Like Old Times, Sam and Loren, no relation, take it away. So, go to it, guys.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name. You wanna go where people know people are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name.
Hey everybody, Sam Bowen here with Lauren Bowen.
Here we are, slinging tents yet again.
Definitely relation, by the way. We are married, and
I can't believe the regular host keeps forgetting that.
I think he was saying because his name was Sam and my name is Sam, that we're not related.
Oh, okay.
Which is definitely we are not related.
Right? No,
you and I are related.
That's just a real weird coincidence.
By marriage, not blood.
Yeah.
But
no. When I married you, I took on everything, including your DNA.
That's true. You did the old Marge Simpson. Yeah, we did that. Speaking of The Simpsons, a TV show.
Yes.
We're going to talk about. Oh, by the way, this is Themes Like Old Times.
Can't wait to see where this is going.
The show where we talk about TV theme songs.
Uh-huh.
We're going to be talking about the theme song for another show, Cheers.
Oh, so it's like just broadly related.
Yeah. Both shows aired on Thursdays.
Oh.
Simpsons.
Is that true?
For a while, The Simpsons did.
Simpsons was on Thursday?
Yeah. If you don't remember that? It killed off The Cosby Show.
I remember when it was on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 3 times a day.
That was syndication.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it started out on Sundays, and then they moved it to... I don't know if it was directly trying to take on The Cosby Show. Mm-hmm. When we do The Simpsons, we'll just... Or The Cosby Show, which... I don't think we're going to do The Cosby Show.
We can do that.
I mean, for one thing, they had like 3 or 4 different versions of the theme song.
And none had lyrics, and all would just be us doing wacky instrumentals. And
then like mugging for the camera, but there is no camera, so that would be weird. But we might do The Simpsons one time, which is also instrumental, but still feel we should talk about it.
Well, we'll write our own lyrics. So,
that's true.
Yeah.
There's one lyric. I mean, one set of... it's always weird, like... So is each word of a theme song a lyric? Or is The Simpsons, is that a lyric?
That is such a wonderful question, and I don't think we have time to unpack it now. It will take a lot more debate and research than we really can do here.
So this episode is a very special episode.
Is it?
I think so. So a while ago, I wrote a theme song for Themes Like Old Times, but I am not a music person. So I just wrote the lyrics.
And you put it to me to write the music, and
also,
we realized I have no music.
You are
skills
slightly a more music person than I am, I think, in that you play the piano sometimes.
Sometimes.
But you're not a composer of music.
Not a bit.
Now, I thought about hitting up a couple of friends. My brother-in-law, maybe. Mm-hmm. But, I don't know.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show, Jason. Hello, Jason. He doesn't listen, I don't think. Although he was on the podcast. Not this podcast.
No.
In Defense of Bad Movies.
Yes.
Yeah. Totally different. So, anyway. But I had these grand hopes for this theme song. And maybe one day we will share the lyrics.
I feel such shame right now.
No, you shouldn't. But the thing was, I was waiting on a certain TV theme song until we had a theme song of our own. Because it is like the granddaddy of all TV theme songs.
I agree.
And of course, we are talking about, say it together, 1, 2, 3, My Mother the
I could not come up with a humorous enough theme tune to undoubtedly counter what might have been the genuine title in your instance, and I chose to remain silent and ruin everything.
That's why we can never play Mind Meld. But of course, I'm talking about Cheers.
Yay!
One of the greatest theme songs of all time. It was like in 2013, Rolling Stone called it the greatest TV theme song of all time.
What was number 2? Oh, this is embarrassing for you.
It is. Yeah, I don't know what number 2 was. The only way that I found out this one was by reading the Wikipedia entry on Where Everybody Knows Your Name, the name of the Cheers theme song. Which, it was kind of interesting. It got into a lot of backstory that I don't know if we want to talk about.
Don't know if we need to go through minutiae, but it was really interesting.
Yeah.
Just, part of what was interesting about it was just the process that writers go through because we do not have musical skills. The idea of writing a whole song sounds like impossible. Yeah. And like, you wrote a song? And so the idea that there were 3 or 4 versions of the song they wrote that were all rejected, and they would say like, nope, try again. Like, oh my gosh, how do you have more in you for a single, 1-minute theme tune?
I'll do the thumbnail version real quick, which was that Gary Portnoy and Judy Hart Angelo, they were the songwriters. They were working on a Broadway show
called Preppies.
Yeah,
my goodness, why didn't that happen?
So 80s, which did not get off the ground. Somebody shopped that, I guess, around to the Charleses, Glenn and Les Charles, creators of Cheers. They liked the sound, they couldn't get the rights to it.
Because it was too tied up to the show itself, so they couldn't have that song they liked.
But they liked these songwriters, so they got them to do a new song. So
they tweaked the original song, and that was rejected summarily.
Yeah, but so they had to come up with another song, Where Everybody Knows Your Name, classic. There's also, just in looking at Wikipedia, there's another one. Julian Williams is listed as a songwriter too, but in the body of what it wrote, it didn't list him. So.
Guys, our research is exhaustive.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta pull up the Wikipedia article.
No, we didn't scan it quickly before we started talking.
We read literally almost every word. So, real quick, Gary Portnoy. We've heard of him before.
Yeah, we have.
From the fantastic Punky Brewster theme song.
I think we risked talking a bit too much about Cheers at that time, but we pulled ourselves back, so we knew we were saving it.
Yeah. Which, by the way, the theme from that, it's such a lovely little song.
He's really, yes, I agree. He has a lovely voice, and they write really nice, profound songs about life that lead into good or not good TV shows.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. That Punky Brewster, I get a little, I don't quite tear up. But I do get a little weepy.
You sing it to yourself in the mirror.
Every day.
Yeah, every day. It's like an affirmation.
Yes, it is. Maybe the world is blind. Or maybe, or just a little unkind. I don't know. But we're not here to talk about Punky Brewster. You can go back to episode if you want to hear about Punky Brewster.
That's right.
We're talking about Cheers.
Cheers.
Great show.
Great show.
A classic. And great theme song. What else can we say?
Well, I really liked some of the information that we found was just a comparison of the song they originally wrote was kind of like we hear today, where it sort of starts like mournfully, then breaks into kind of celebratory, like people come to Cheers for like good things. but the original lyrics were kind of more specific.
Yeah.
And so the Charleses want them to, like, expand a little bit, make it a more universal theme. Do you want to read the comparison of, like, the opening verse?
So, singing the blues when the Red Sox lose. It's a crisis in your life. That's, like, okay, it sets it in Boston. It's, it is definitely, there are people who are like, I'm a Yankees fan. I don't care about the Red Sox, so they might, but whatever. Then the next line, on the run, because all your girlfriends want to be your wife. That is so specific to Sam. And
I can't picture these lyrics in the melody we know now, because those lyrics are for a real specific Boston-based sitcom about a character I do not like.
Yeah.
And so I cannot imagine how we then transform those into the, like, something gross and trite, into the profound, like, statement on life that is the existing verse.
And it does feel like a first draft, because it's the sing the blues when the Red Sox lose. It's a crisis in your life. On the run because all your girlfriends want to be your life. And the laundry tickets in the wash.
And the laundry tickets in the wash.
But, like, that
I
is
really
such a...
need a drink.
That is such a minor thing compared to the first two.
Like, it just sounds, oh boy, my life. The Red Sox are sucking it up again. Damn that Babe Ruth. And then, like, all of my many girlfriends, anonymous and varied, all want to marry me.
And my diamond shoes are too tight. And then, like, and also, I can't get my dry clean. Yeah, I guess it is, like, just that last little bit.
And like, it's like the woes of life. But this guy's an asshole. I don't want to root for him. Yeah. But then it changes to...
Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away?
It's so and it fits with the melody, and it's just about, like, man, life is rough, and, wouldn't you like to go somewhere comforting where people know you and the community of your local drinking hole, endorsing
drinking so much that you could black out drunk and forget about these problems. Okay, there's a sinister side to it.
There's darkness to it, and that is definitely the challenge of Cheers now, but also not.
But if you don't look too deeply. If you are a casual drinker who is just there, if you can nurse a beer or two for the whole night, it is just camaraderie.
Exactly.
If you're not Norm, who is clearly an alcoholic.
I'm really worried about Norm. Let's go a little inside baseball. We are ourselves working through Cheers right now, and I, being a young person in the era of Cheers, watched a lot of the latter half. I remember the Rebecca years pretty darn well. I remember watching it, enjoying it. But, like, Diana years really sporadic. So I have not seen the show all the way through. And so we're now into season 2. And, like, it's so interesting to watch, because it's got bits that are dated and the problematic issues, especially considering these are alcoholics, but it's such a good, solid show. And the
gender if Bobby and Laura were here to talk about the gender politics, it would be interesting.
But it is a show that you just look at as existing in its age, and it's one of the shows that is good enough that you look past that, and that's impressive, because lots of good shows from the era do not hold up.
And in its defense too, it is problematic, but for the most part, Diane holds her own.
Yeah,
she's kind of cool.
There are definitely moments when, like, the show feels like, oh, we're on touchy ground, but no one's ever rewarded for really bad behavior or anything. So it's okay. Like, it's going to be okay.
Also, just to put things in not perspective, but whatever, to share. I was also young when the show was on, but because I had an obsessive hobby of recording TV shows, for a while I was recording our local KTLA, recording every episode of Cheers. By the way, I don't know if a little more inside baseball, more like the industry than just us. So in syndication, they have more commercial time and they cut out some stuff. They would always do the really short version of the theme song. And even though it's on Netflix and there is that little option to skip credits, we're watching those credits.
Why would you ever?
That's
quite an experience.
It really is.
It is, though. We always enjoy the, like...
It sets a tone.
It does. It sets a tone. It's really rich. Like, it's lovely. And the opening is so pretty.
It is.
I really always held with me when I was younger, those, like, the vintage pictures that are all highly, like, color coded. Yeah. Like, they're so neat. And it sets up the world of, like, how exciting and rich, like, your local communal drinking hole is. It's a, like, lovely place where people are warm and they have fun. And, like, it really... it looks so much nicer than just what the bar ultimately is.
Yeah. By the way, let's watch the video right now.
Ah, there it is.
This looks like it might have been later, the way that swooped in like that. Oh, you know what? I think this is just the song. Never mind.
We'll cut this out.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Now, Sam, you've actually been to Cheers.
I have. Just open credits. What was I going to say? Do we know anything about... Maybe we should have looked this up, too. The art on the opening credits.
Oh, well, we are dropping the ball. Again, exhaustive research.
Yeah.
We put the utmost effort in for you guys.
We do. But it's really beautiful, and it's not an exact. I think in the beginning they were kind of going for like this character when they show the names of the people. This character is an analog for this person.
It's sort of like.
Oh, I love it. They start with the car turns into a horse and carriage.
It's contemporary when it washes into the period shot of the building.
Because when you come in here, you're going into this older time.
Yeah, everyone in topping hats.
Yeah, bowler caps.
When they're all pleasant and communal, and someone with a monocle. I love that lady with like the fur and the red hat who's just looking straight down camera, cheersing you. Like, I've always loved that lady.
That's awesome.
Oh, with the lady kicking her leg up in her beautiful.
There's a bit of a speakeasy feeling about it too. Yeah,
everyone's celebratory and having fun. I like the photographs too.
Like, don't call the cops.
Mournful.
Don't tell the cops.
We're so neat. Those are Rhea Perlman's legs.
That's interesting.
That is 100% George Wendt. That's totally. The one that always killed me. We win.
I don't know who the we is, but it doesn't matter. We win. Yeah.
Mr. Tipple at the end with his jaunty cap.
Oh, it's so fun. What was I going to say? The Rhea Perlman one, that was really interesting. When they show her, not her. They don't show her.
We don't have it as her, but there always seems to be a figure in the photo that matches to the person they're flashing.
It's the only one where they cut it off at the head. It's from the feet to the head.
Because she's mysterious.
Is it that, or is because she's so short? Could just be
arbitrary assignments.
Or it could be arbitrary assignments.
But it's kind of neat. I always thought that was on purpose, and especially with the George Wendt one, where there is a large, jolly gentleman.
100%.
That is the one that solidifies the theory as most.
Definitely. I'm going to go to this again. There was something I wanted to show you, which was the way they do the names of the 2 stars. Mm-hmm. And which is interesting. They do them diagonally, where up the top right is 1, because the idea is that we read top to bottom and left to right. So it's if they're like this, 1 is at the top right and 1 is at the bottom left. It's a toss up as to which one you see first.
You've seen that in other things too, where we're not sure who we credit first. Like one person is kind of more, but it's enough of a 2-hander. Like they do that on Sherlock with Cumberbatch and Freeman, where Cumberbatch is top right, but that's silly. They're close enough, but top right's kind of probably first on the call sheet.
It feels like the titular character should.
And Shelley Long and Ted Danson.
And by the way, I heard this was a while ago that I heard this, but I think Shelley Long's name is the name that gets seen first. So if you ever had this opportunity, take the top right. Mm-hmm. Let the other person be bottom left.
I think that's accurate. Yeah. Was Shelley Long more of a commodity now that Ted Danson is bottom left?
Was she at the time?
At this time? Who was the bigger star?
I don't know.
Or are they both equally footed enough at this time?
I don't know anything about him before this, and the only thing I know about her before this was she was a groundling.
Exhaustive research.
Yeah.
Was this their first big thing?
I want to say maybe, yeah. Wow. I feel they were young, and
Where did Ted Danson come from with that tan and that
He's
thick,
so
fake hair.
Swarthy looking.
He's so swarthy.
By the way, they have an episode of the show where they argue about what the sweatiest movie. I think it's the pilot, and I think it's the sweatiest show on TV at the time.
It is so warm in that studio with
it
that
is
wig,
really warm, which is the opposite of Friends. Friends learned the lesson. If you want to see Shelley Long's erect nipples, you turn that temperature down.
She would never cotton to such nonsense. She doesn't need to placate us in that way.
Oh, she was so. This just popped in my head. One of the really fun things that just so shows their character is when Norm walks in. I mean, everyone says Norm, so you immediately know something about Norm. He's the fun guy. But then everyone says no, and then a second behind, Shelley Long says Norman. And whenever anyone comes in, except for Sam, another telling thing, she says it by their full name, like Clifford. Mm-hmm. And it's just a fun thing about her character. And I don't know, they put so much thought into that, and it was so good. Yeah,
it's such an interesting comparison these early seasons as well. Just the way the show changed, just from compared to what I remember, and watching the actual progress will be neat. But like very beginning, there's lots of like low angle shots, lots of long broad takes of the bar. Like it really was shot differently.
They did, and then like sometimes,
really cool.
Sometimes it's like the character's not even in focus, but like, and I don't know, maybe there was. That might be bad. I think there was alcohol on the set too. I think they were really drinking that alcohol. Maybe the cameraman too.
But Sam's an alcoholic.
But then, you would see like something. The character is not really in focus. It's something else that's in focus. And it's really, that might have been an accident. It might have just been really artistic.
Interesting. Just trying to give the atmosphere of alcoholism on set.
Yeah, maybe. And another fun thing they did at the beginning, which they abandoned a bit later on, was the real moments of no jokes.
Yeah. I like those.
Those were really neat. Yeah. So, we watched it. We talked about it.
Mm-hmm. What could be left?
It's time to sing it.
Oh no!
Now we don't have the sweet voice of
the
Gary
voice of a beautiful angel, Gary Portnoy.
We do not. But combined, we have two voices.
We do.
Oh, by the way, one real quick thing I wanted to point out that Wikipedia said was the choral parts. It's all Gary Portnoy's voice layered on top of each other, like 8 versions of his voice.
What is he, a Beatle? Because we've just learned that was the thing the Beatles did.
Yeah, I think they just did 2. They doubled. Well, I feel which is the typical thing, actually. Doubling is.
Portnoy, I love that idea. Like, no, I can't get any backup singers in here who will do it quite right. Let me just do it all myself.
It might have just been like, oh, we don't want to pay for these people, and maybe he's doing it at a home studio too. That he just like it's like 11 at night. He can't call over a bunch.
It's like this is the demo tape. They're like, no, it's perfect. Go.
Oh, also, let's talk about Flaming Moe's.
Flaming Moe's.
Let's all go to Flaming, where liquor from a mug can warm you like a hug. Happiness is just a Flaming Moe's away.
Wait, did Simpsons do it? Like on Unspooled? This is...
Is that a thing?
Yes.
They stole that South Park did that. They stole it from that. That's funny.
Oh yes, a very great Simpsons moment.
Yeah,
when they do their own version,
and it's so good. It's just as heartwarming, but they definitely, whereas Cheers' theme beats around the bush is the alcoholism. Like no, they hit it on the head.
They just embrace it.
It's terrific.
You got a bunch of sad barflies, and Woody Harrelson's working at the bar. Let's go, hey, Mr. Simpson. No Gumble.
Wrong Barney.
Yep, wrong Barney. Oh my god.
Okay, let's get those headphones out, or those earbuds out.
I can't, there's a dog on me.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name. And they're always glad you came.
You wanna be where you can see troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name.
You wanna go where people know the people are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name. So,
oh no, we're not doing the extended version.
I want to read some of them.
Okay.
Okay, so after the theme song, show was a big hit after a little while. Gary Portnoy went back, recorded a longer, an extended version, wrote a few more verses.
Was it for radio play?
It was for radio play. Yeah. It did not do super well and never peaked made the top 40. But some of the lyrics are really interesting. That actually kind of, now that I think about it, at least one of them, which always sticks in my mind, it connects to an early episode.
Really?
If you remember. Okay, well, we'll get into it. So...
I'm looking over your shoulder. I'm already worried about some of these.
Yeah. Making your way in the world today takes everything. Yeah, taking a break from all your worries sure would help you. Like, what do you want to get away?
Profound statement on human existence.
Yeah. All those nights when you've got no lights, the check is in the mail, and your little angel hung the cat up by its tail.
What?
That feels like it's specific for Carla.
That's true.
And your third fiance didn't show.
What?
Also for Carla.
Man, of course they didn't show. You have a crazy child. None of these people are going to marry you.
But yeah, that's,
That's real weird.
You were talking about animal cruelty in a song. That's, for me, a big no-no.
And not at that number one. Like, again, this is the person I don't like back. And these are not universal experiences.
No.
Your third fiance didn't show.
There's universality in the specifics. I learned that in my English. But
specific is universal.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
exactly. And then so the chorus.
Oh, it's so sad.
And then this is where it gets interesting. Roll out of bed, Mr. Coffee's dead. The morning's looking bright. And your shrink ran off to Europe and didn't even write. And your husband wants to be a girl. Be glad there's one place in the world.
Dear.
By the way, I think they did use this song in the final episode or like a clip show or something like that. Or this version. But there is an episode where early on where a guy was gay first season, and there was a little bit of not treating it super well, but then they end up like. If you remember, Coach was like, "Oh, that's wrong. Your parents are right to disown you." But then he came really quickly came around, like Coach does.
Oh, it's Coach. He's so retarded.
And yeah, it is really sweet to see in 1981, 1982 that people were willing to accept this. And
yeah, I think that really, I'm again forgetting the era, but I think the show was probably woke for its time.
Yeah,
I do have to say that lyric about your shrink really backtracks the quality of the show. It's such a working class, blue collar kind of show. And then a character that's going to have a shrink that runs up to Europe. That's not anyone that goes Cheers.
And it's so dated too, like Mr. Coffee. What? Actually, I have a Mr. Coffee in there. Maybe I shouldn't talk. That still exists, but it feels like it was bigger then. Yeah, so...
Interesting. I think they were right to just keep the version they had.
Yeah. Yeah. I think in this case, the general is the general. What is it? What is the specific? How does it go again?
The specific is universal.
I think in this case, the universal is the universal.
That works too.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we covered everything. Anything else we need to say about it?
It's just good. Check out the show, guys.
Why didn't he do more TV theme songs?
Did you really not do any others?
Really briefly on the Wikipedia.
He was working too
thing.
hard on Preppy's the Musical?
Maybe. Golden Girls, I don't think is him, but it feels like a Gary Portnoy.
You can't just attribute any good theme tune from the 80s to Gary Portnoy.
No, they're super great.
He wrote, we were saying he wrote a song for Dolly Parton and for Air Supply.
Yeah.
He, wrote in the industry, not just theme tunes.
He was a songwriter.
Yeah.
And we'll deal with Golden Girls later, because that's a good one. Yeah. So, all right. Well, thanks for listening. And let's kick it back to, not related to me, Sam. Thanks, Sam and Loren. Man, I learned so much about Cheers. Should I watch that show? I think I should. I think I will. I think I did. Speaking of watching things, you should not watch the next episode, but listen to the next episode of our podcast, In Defense of Bad Movies. But, watch the Chinese version of Only You, because we're going to talk about it, and there will be spoilers. Join us in a few weeks, and take care. Bye. Making your way in the world today takes everything you got.
Boom, boom, boom.
Make taking a break from all your worries. Sure would help a lot. Why's it gotta be on this side?